So I noticed that there were not many reviews of The Bad Guys 2 online, and I thought, well, that's unfair because I suspect there are a lot of moms and dads that are just trying to get through those last couple of weeks before school gets back in. So I thought, hey, let's get to it. Let's talk about a film that I actually think is going to do fairly well with the kiddies and their moms and dads. Hey everybody, I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy, and today let's talk about Bad Guys 2.
Things sure have changed. Not everyone believes it, but the bad guys went good. It hasn't been easy with a reputation like ours.
You want to work at a bank?
Why not? Some of my best memories are at banks.
You robbed us 3 times.
Duh. That was this bank?
Now, if you remember the original Bad Guys movie, it was a series of animals that traditionally have negative connotations to them. So we have a wolf and a piranha, we have a tarantula and a snake and a shark. Bad animal actors. Now, these are generally considered to be bad animals, so they decided to lean into it and become a criminal gang. But of course, it was an animated children's movie, so the bad guys were going to become the good guys by the end of the movie, and that's where the sequel starts. These bad guy animals, well, they're good, but they're having a tough time getting their lives up and running again. They're doing their best, but things are going to change when some bad girls show up. We have 3 new animals, a cheetah, I think it's a warthog, and some sort of a bird. And they are criminals who need some help from the bad guys to pull off their latest crime caper. And so they kind of blackmail them and force them to do one last job. Of course, will that happen? Will they be able to do it and then still be good by the end? I mean, once again, it's an animated kids movie, so you know that bad guys will always be good ultimately. Can you imagine what would happen if mom and dad took their kids to a movie and the moral was, hey, sometimes it's good to be a thief? I think that's hilarious here. Okay, so let's talk about this movie. I think that the story, okay, it's overly complicated. They're doing this crime caper. They're trying to get MacGuffinite and steal all of the world's gold. The crime caper is nothing less than, hey, we're going to steal every single piece of gold on Earth. It is very complex. Basically, they're going to have to go to space to finish the caper. Look, it's complicated, but I don't think it's so complex that you really have to pay attention to it. So the kids in the audience will probably be fine here. They'll just know that there's lots of action and they're trying to do some stuff with some funny characters. Now, those characters, they are the reason to see this movie. I think they're, particularly the 5 original bad guy characters are really well defined. I appreciate them. There's a lot of humor that arises out of their individual, personas. I appreciated that. And then once again, you can always tell that these characters, these bad guy characters, are really good guys deep down in their hearts. And even the bad girls that we're going to meet, okay, one of them doesn't really quite reform, but the other 2 do. And so it's going to be good girls and good guys at the end of this movie. As for the animation, okay, so this is kind of hit and miss. It's interesting because it's a 3D animated movie, but the eyes are animated as 2D. And I think that's supposed to be a feature, not a bug, but I think it does look a little weird. Lots of action, lots of cutaway stuff. It's supposed to look a little bit like a comic book during some of the action stuff. I think that's fine, but I don't think it's anything particularly special. But then again, I don't think the kids that are watching this movie are really going to care about that. For me, the big fun stuff here is the action spectacle. They start off with a heist that would do Tom Cruise proud. I mean, it's something like out of a Mission Impossible movie. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, the final caper here, they have to go to outer space to pull this off. I mean, the Fast and the Furious guys went to outer space, so why can't the bad guys? It's completely over the top. That's fine. It's just a lot of silly action, and of course, everything's going to be good at the end, so parents should appreciate that. So the bottom line here is, look, I'm not going to say this is a great movie, but I think it works well enough to keep the elementary school kids happy. I think there are a couple of jokes for mom and dad. For example, they're stealing MacGuffinite. Kids won't know what MacGuffin is, but parents may have heard of the term the MacGuffin here. I appreciated that. I think that will work well. I think there's some good characters, some interesting action stuff, some visually hit and miss stuff, but I think ultimately it works well enough. I think the kids will enjoy it, and that is the important thing here. So I'm going to give The Bad Guys 2 2.5 stars out of 4. I think they'll enjoy this. Now, I will say by the time this film finally started, it was a full 32 minutes after the posted showtime. That's because there were so many trailers, and quite frankly, trailers for a lot of kids' films that look really quite bad. Those kids in the audience were restless. When's the movie gonna start, Mommy? Can I go to the bathroom again? I need more popcorn. I thought they were gonna have a riot here. Those kids were not happy. You may want to keep this in mind, Mom and Dad, and show up a good, 20 minutes after the showtime, because that was a very painful start here. I understand the movie theaters have to make their money. They're making money off of the trailers, but boy, this is getting out of hand. But that's my thoughts. I mean, what do you think? Comment below. And of course, hey, look, be sure to subscribe and comment on my posts here so you can get all of my views as soon as the films come out. All of the movies, not just the big ones, but also those minor kids movies like The Bad Guys too. And of course, be sure to subscribe to my podcast. It's called Two Movie Guys. Every week, my friend Joe Fryer and I get together. We'll review almost all of the big new movies, and we do it in much greater depth and detail, and it's kind of fun to see his take on it versus my take. So just search for Two Movie Guys, the number 2 Movie Guys, wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, that's it for this weekend's big slate of films. Okay, I'll tell you, there's one more that we're going to talk about. It's a pretty good little indie drama. But I'll tell you this, if you are interested in this movie because you have kids, I got a better one for you to talk about next week. It is the latest film from Angel Studios called Sketch. Spoiler alert, I think it's pretty good. We'll talk about that next time. See you then. Bye.